Abhinav, how are you?
Hey Meraj, I'm good. Uh, Looking forward to this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Have nothing on my mind, honestly.
Okay.
So, gonna see how this freestyle goes.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I have no clue how podcasty this is going to be, but all I know is the conversations have always been real, raw, and original without any sort of makeup or agenda or objective to create something. So, and I think those are the best conversations. So let's jump right into it. All right.
Sure, I'm definitely up for this because the entire idea of a podcast, at least to me, is, just two individuals talking about what really resonates with them.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever might listen to it,
Hmm.
they either derive value or they don't, right? So
Correct.
I think we're doing a good job by just, keeping this very open-ended.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Not just open-ended, and I mean, I do not have a topic on my mind. I do not have a list of questions. I do not have notes, physical or mental. So it's nothing. I'm going to be talking to you about Abhinav in general, Abhinav in specific, Abhinav in you know universe, and maybe in metaverse. So that's what this is going to be. So let's get started with it. Introduce yourself.
cool. So well,
That's sounding
uh,
boring.
hmm. One very interesting thing is I dropped out, first of all.
Hmm.
I think whoever, if you're a college student, you might like this fact.
Hmm.
But I dropped out for the very reason that, I found entrepreneurship very fascinating.
Hmm.
And I had no idea, to be honest, what it was. I
Hmm.
had zero clue. I only knew about the fact that entrepreneurship was a field which truly excited me.
Hmm.
And it gave me a reason to do things which did not make me feel like I was working, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's what I've seen most of the times. Most people talk about this so-called work-life balance, right? And I was never really an advocate of that because I believe that there is nothing called work. I mean, if at all I'm living like at least 80 years, let's say, I sure as hell don't really want to be working. I don't want to feel that way. And as I said, entrepreneurship is something that kind of makes me feel like that. It's just something which I want to do
Hmm.
because I just find it cool, right? So around 12th grade, I decided, what, college is not for me.
Hmm.
I took a gap year. I tried to get into tech,
Hmm.
and short answer, I sucked at tech. I was very bad at it. I did not know how to code. I tried, trust me, I tried all these Udemy. I joined hacking school, went for a boot camp, whatnot, but it just didn't click for me. And, that's when I was like, okay, well, things are kind of slow. Even the venture which I'm trying to work on is not really working out. So
Hmm.
that's when I went to Paris for my undergrad study. I was doing a bachelor's in economics and finance.
Hmm.
And that was again when Corona hit. And
Hmm.
one semester in, I found a reason to come back to India and I stayed back
Hmm.
because that was the period when I found the opportunity to work with Miraj again. Uh, for all the viewers who don't know, hacking school is Miraj's product, and that's where I first went for my boot camp, for web dev boot camp. And again, he started his venture of EVP in 2019,
2020.
2020. And as soon as I came back, I kind of got in touch with, the manager of EVP, and I went for the interview, whatnot. I got selected, and then again, like that's a whole different story from there on. But I dropped out. I thought, this is not it. I don't really want to go back to college. I found an opportunity. Let me work it out. And trust me, I was utterly lost. I had no idea what I was doing, what was gonna happen, security, this, that, nothing. I had no clue.
Hmm.
All I knew was, college is not my gig. I'll figure it out. I just thought to myself, as long as I do what I intend to do,
Hmm.
I will figure my path out.
Hmm.
Right now, fast forward from there have been a lot of things in the middle. I'm not going to get into it. It's going to just be very long. But right now, I'm also doing a computer science uh, boot camp at hacking school again. That's the
Not a,
funny
it's not a boot camp.
it's more of like a 1 year intensive uh, degree which is completely functional, you could say. It's not really a degree, but I'm just using the term for you guys to understand. But it's just a 1 year fast track computer science course which compresses all the functional aspects of engineering and development,
Hmm.
right? And I love it. I absolutely love it. But that's actually the funny part. As I said initially, when I tried coding, I
Well,
sucked.
we will get to that bit now. You mentioned you dropped out when you were in your 12, right? Mainly because you were, let's say, bitten by the entrepreneurship bug and you want to pursue it. Why was it important that you dropped out? Why do you think you couldn't carry both your college and whatever idea you were working on? You could have pursued both, right? Why do you think dropping out was important? What influenced you to deciding and executing the idea of dropping out to work on your startup?
That's actually a very valid question, because if someone else would tell me, some random person comes and tells me, hey, do you think I should drop out because I wanna, work on my venture? I would not suggest to do so. I would not. But in my case, as I said, so I have 2 points. So the first point is, I always kind of, believed in this idea that, like, right now when we're young, we have max time. We have loads of time, and
Mhm.
most people don't realize it. Maybe not did I when I was younger, but with this so-called time which we have, I wanted to first learn to invest it in areas of my life which I valued. I
Mhm.
did not see the point in trying to, go to college, in trying to, figure out something. For many people, college is a place where you figure out a lot of things, where you meet a lot of new people, where you find a lot of resources, right? Now, for me, I did not really have any X factor which I wanted to find in college. I did not want to go there for a resource, for a job, for friends, or anything like that. My equation was simple.
Mhm.
If I go to college, will it help me become an entrepreneur?
Mhm.
Answer was no, because I mean, obviously, it does help you build a lot of factors, experience, etc., etc. But
Mhm.
to me, it just felt like, unless and until I'm not clear as to what I want to do, I rather not be doing anything.
Mhm.
And trust me, that's a very risky thing to do. It's not really recommended.
And
But
I was coming there, right? How cool were your parents with your idea of
oh, uh, they're
especially
very,
me having met your
um,
father.
I am honestly so grateful for the parents I have. They are very receptive to, just not even receptive, they're just open-ended. They make an effort to understand my thought process, and I think that's like the biggest gift I've ever gotten.
Mhm.
When I first told them, I'm going to take a gap year after my 12th, they wanted me to go, go to IIM or, something else. But I said no, and they listened. They're like, okay, fine, try tech out. And
Mhm.
and trust me, the only reason this works out with my parents is because you can't see. Your parents look at you as an individual and value your opinion when you give them a reason to do so.
Exactly.
You cannot just sit and be like, hey, listen to me. You cannot do that. You got to partake in your responsibilities. You got to partake in understanding your own family. You got to show them that you can think for yourself, stand for yourself.
Right.
Even if you fall into a ditch, they should trust you. They should be capable to trust you that, okay, this guy can get out of it.
That's where proof of work comes into picture. You'll have to demonstrate that you're actually
Exactly.
serious about whatever you're going to do, and you're not just fooling around, wasting your time on stuff that's not going to work out. And since they're your parents, they most probably know what you're capable of and what you're not. And technically speaking, they're also right most of the times, but they're also not right most of the times, considering the fact that they might not be fully aware of everything that's happening, all the latest trends, all the ideas, all the building blocks of the future that we might probably need to focus right now. Because especially, right, you and I come from India, and everything, by the time it reaches India, it's already, flattening out. And which means the trend might not be a trend anymore. It might be a saturated opportunity. And Indians are obsessed with, everything that the West does. Or let me put it this way: Indians are obsessed with everything that non-Indians do, right, or foreigners do, regardless of how right or wrong it is. It may be the idea itself. So given the fact that parents always look at what has worked in the past historically, they suggest that for their kids, and not knowing or realizing that it might be a lost trend and might not work out, right? The scope of it in the future might be non-existent. So which is where the whole you know trust on the kid and the proof of work comes in the picture, where they'll have to the kid has to do that hard job of making them believe in whatever the guy is going to do, and giving them a reason to trust, telling them, okay, hey, I'm doing this because I already did this. I told you I was going to do that, and this is why, and this is how I'm going to make it happen. So I totally get it. And I really think your parents are probably the most supportive parents that I have seen, especially given the fact that you have had quite a few experiments,
If you
not just
remember, my mom came to you too
yeah,
once
yeah, yeah.
with a business idea.
Yeah. So no, that's what I am. That's what I have on the back of my mind, right? So you come from a very supportive family, and family that is very open and receptive to new ideas and experiments, regardless of what your experiments might have had delivered in the past, which is very, very cool. And trust me, this is not very common, especially not common from the place where we come from. So you have to respect that and take pride in it. You're a lucky guy.
Yeah, I am. I know, definitely.
Um, Cool. So now, having known what, Abhinav technically, what makes the most of Abhinav, and why and how Abhinav thinks. Um, Tell me how, you found your first degree network that you have right now, right? How are they, and how do you think you fit into them? Um, Let me just give you a context of, what I'm talking about. My first degree network is full of people who are, let's say, accomplished a lot of things, right? And these are social butterflies, and I technically do not fit into that network. However, they respect that Meraj is not a social butterfly. Meraj is not an extreme extrovert, and Meraj not necessarily will agree with everything that they are throwing, which is what most of the people do, especially in a public setting, right? Let's say you are a part of a panel discussion, and somebody comes up with a topic, and if I do not believe in it, if I do not think it is right, I'm very vocal about it, right? And my first degree network has come to terms with it, and they respect me for that. So how do you look at your we spoke about your family, how do your friends look at it? And I would also want you to touch upon the role of Adventure Park in your journey and life so far.
Um, so this is a pretty interesting question, and I think I have a good answer for this.
Uh,
Uh,
Sorry to cut you, but let me also, tell you why I'm asking this.
okay.
Most of our ideas, or, we are extremely influenced by the people that we, spend a lot of time with. So whatever we read, whatever we consume becomes a part of us, right? We consume good ideas, we come up with good ideas. We consume bad ideas, we come up with bad ideas. We consume extremism, we become extreme. We consume liberalism, we become liberal, right? So technically, whatever we feed ourselves with is what we become, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So, but most of the times, we are not fortunate enough to choose our own network. We are not fortunate enough to choose our own community, right? So, and this is something that I have been stressing upon from a really long time, especially to students. Find your network, find your community of, let's say, those 5 friends, 5 people who are absolutely futuristic, who do not believe in playing safe, who do not believe in wasting their time, who believe in experimenting, trying things out. So yeah.
So, what you said is very true. Wherever you exist, you become it.
Hmm.
Wherever you exist, you simply become it. That's most of the case for most people, right?
Right.
But one way which I was able to tackle this particular problem, because obviously, like, you spoke on length about trying to create proof of work in order to prove something to your parents. And the fact is, I was never really, I still have not created my proof of work. There is no sort of tangibility which can, put me out there and where I can be like, yes, I'm a full-fledged entrepreneur and now I can, hang out with cool people who can think like me, whatever, right?
Hmm.
So one thing which I have really, really relied upon is objectivity.
Hmm.
Being an entrepreneur, the main reason why I even chose entrepreneurship is because I felt it gave me the power of objectivity. As humans, most people are subjective. It's all about my opinion, your opinion, what I like, what you like, what I
Hmm.
don't like.
Hmm.
It remains to that. But when you look at entrepreneurship, it moves towards creating something that is above us all, right? Not even above. It's not biased towards anything. Entrepreneurship is about fulfilling a need, fulfilling a problem, right? And to do that, to look at a problem statement which is shared by many in the best manner, you have to remain objective, right? And objectivity, now connecting this to this question, objectivity is something that will help you, even if you do not have the best first degree network, you know how to pick your fruits, you know who to hang out with. For
Hmm.
me, my first degree network, very, very, plainly and purely put, are my mentors. They're
Mhm.
my mentors. They're people who I can talk to and whose whose feedback is also objective like my questions. There's not much bias.
Hmm.
There are people who are able to, they're receptive, they're understanding of what kind of position I'm in, and
Hmm.
they themselves have walked the path which I intend to. Like
Hmm.
Prashant, my instructor, at cs.code.in, initially nothing really worked out between us. Like he hated me, I hated him. I was like, you don't teach me correctly, and he's like, you don't work correctly. Right now, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm one of the best students in the course. And if you ask me why has my relationship changed with him,
Hmm.
it's because I am slowly walking the path he has already walked, and
Hmm.
he acknowledges it. This is how you can actually create synergies with people. So my short answer is, my first degree network is inclusive of people who I can create a synergy with.
Hmm. Hmm.
Synergy, because this is what leads the end product being entrepreneurship, creation, developing something, building something. That is my basis.
So, fair point. However, there's one thing which is in line with what you just said. Mentor is a very big word, and yes, Prashant is your CS mentor, and technically, so when you pick up a mentor, right, and this is for everybody who might watch later, right? Either don't pick a mentor and be extremely selective about who you call a mentor, and but once you call somebody your mentor, right, once you give them that
Tag.
place, you have to blindly believe in them and just do what they say, right? If they ask you to jump from the 25th floor, you just do it. You don't question, hey, are you mad? I'll fall, I'll die. This is a murder. This is nothing, right? They ask you to jump, you just jump, right? That's exactly what it takes to be a mentee, right? And everything historical, right? You can take the largest of the wars that were won. You can take the most beautiful of the products ever built. You can take the most beautiful of the buildings that were ever done, right? These would have never been possible without, two people believing in each other that they are capable of delivering it, right? Let's say this Shah Jahan did not believe in the architect who built Taj Mahal, he would have never gotten the Taj Mahal, right? Shah Jahan was, probably, a good king, but he was not a good architect. So, but the day he decided, I want Taj Mahal and I'm going to let this guy do his job, he just obeyed whatever the architect wanted from Shah Jahan, right? And so is same is the case with literally anything. And this is exactly what I tell to all my teams. Hey, if you believe, I should be leading you guys, then you blindly listen to me. Okay. Let me tell you why I'm saying this. And this is exactly, and this is very, very important considering, the fact that these days we take pride in, being a contrarian, being a senseless contrarian. Being a contrarian is important, right? If you do not believe in something, do not technically be there and do not do it. However, do not just be contrarian for the sake of it. Do not do it because you think it's cool, rejecting an idea or rejecting a fact, right? If you totally believe with it, with the facts and points, totally makes sense. Always welcome. And the right mentor will, welcome you and will take you through your point to the actual point where you should be, right? Without making you feel dumb, without making you feel wrong, without telling you, okay, hey, you're an idiot for you to be
They
thinking
will
this
lead
way.
you to the right experiments to carry out.
They'll ask the right questions and then they'll take you where you should be, right? Without telling you, okay, you can't do this. This is not for you, right? But this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm, thanks to internet, everybody is now an Aristotle and Socrates. Everybody knows everything, which is where, people started disrespecting mentors, disrespecting teachers. One point of conflict and they go like, "Are you don't know anything? Aapko nahi
Yeah,
aata."
yeah.
Came tell you do.
Yeah, that is very true because I of course it's not something which I have to mention, but I do consider you my mentor. You do have that place, right? But if we go by that, like if at all what you have told me has not worked out so far, I should have been like, okay, this is done, right? And fact is, guys, whoever is watching this, I have been working on my product rebate for years. you know you can say probably I didn't work hard. I did this, that, I don't know. I'll leave it up to your imagination, but I have done whatever I could, and there's no product also yet. There's nothing yet. So because of that, do I say I have a bad mentor, or like he didn't tell me the right things? No. You can't do that, because synergies are about simply just creating, and what will be created. As simple as that. It's not about one working out, another not working out. It's nothing like that. It's just first degree network is all about hanging out with people, talking to people because you bloody want to. That's it.
Because you
It's
bloody want to and because you bloody should be.
Yeah.
um,
If not them, who else? What are you gonna do?
Totally. And to be very honest, it's not about, the number of wins that you're going to get or the number of wars your mentor is going to help you win. Eventually, everybody you play your own game, right? When you are on the pitch, when you are on the crease, when you're facing that ball, when you are in the ring, facing that punch in your face, there's nobody in the world who can do anything about it, right? It's you and your opponent. Your mentor can only sit back and pray that hey, just take that up and give one back, right? but there's not much that anybody can do. Now it depends on your strength, it depends on your DNA, it depends on, how prepared you were, it depends on how you practiced, it depends on, what you ate that morning, it depends on so many other things. Now, which is what basically decides if you're going to win or lose, or technically, what
kind of experience you will have. That's it.
Exactly. Now, this is where, I want you to briefly, touch on, considering we have 10 more minutes left. It did not feel like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, I want to, this is a repetitive question actually. Role of Adventure Park in your journey.
Okay.
The people at Adventure Park, the multiple startups that you work with, multiple, let's say your founding team, which kept changing, which is fine, everything.
I'm gonna be very honest about this,
We absolutely can.
Yeah. So if you ask me like what's been the role of Adventure Park, I would say more than anything, it has been uh it's been a sling, which kind of a sling, a support mechanism when I needed it the most. Because mind it, if at all Adventure Park didn't exist, I would have gone to Paris and graduated by now. Because Adventure Park existed, I gave entrepreneurship another chance, right? So another chance in the sense in that time period. It's not like I would have ever left it, but in that time period, it gave me something to hold on to, right? And I think most people in Adventure Park come for that very reason. They want a chance. And I think it perfectly fits that requirement, giving people who want entrepreneurship a chance, right? It's perfect for that. But now when you come to, how do you deal with people, how the people are there, there's a lot of amazing people there, not gonna lie, there's pretty cool people. There's Fawaz, there's the founder of plastic biodegradable bags, bioreform. Many such people. But what my point is that even I'm kind of like, very picky about the kind of people I hang out with or whatever.
Great.
So in terms of influence from people, I would not say much has been brought forth. But because to me, it's you. Miraj is the person who I'm concerned with talking to. Because I have talked to a lot of people. It's not like I'm a quiet guy, right? I do talk. I am very shameless. I talk about everything,
So how much
right?
has Meraj influenced you?
Miraj has influenced me, not, I won't say influence because I think it sounds wrong. I think it's more of like, Miraj has helped me walk my path, realize whatever path it is. It's like a rebound wall, like I come to Miraj with multitude of questions, I get answers, I evaluate. I'm like, what did he say? I ask another question, I evaluate. What did he
Does he
say?
help you see things?
Yes, that's exactly the point, right? Like the whole point of having you in Adventure Park is just so that you hear yourself talking along with like another, voice which has already done it. In some or the other way, it's true that you have walked the path which I intended to. You've walked the path for a very long time, and that the your experiences matter to me. I would like to know what you think about what I am thinking, and that is my point. The people, the norm, like people or incubatees in Adventure Park, anyone who helps me see what I don't see about the things I'm thinking about, they should be in my first degree network. If they're able to evaluate what I'm thinking about and trying to, question whatever I ask, whatever I say, they should be in my first degree network, right? And that's the role of EVP. For me, EVP is something that has helped me in a lot of ways. It's not like, I've also had bad experiences too. I've come to EVP and like, during sessions I've had nothing. I'm like, I don't know what rebate is gonna do. Yet, we moved on, and that's the point. The point is that no matter what, there were people at Adventure Park which kind of made you feel like walking. Like move on. Let's keep doing. Let's figure it out. It's never look at value. I would say that never look at relationships as something transactional, because they're not. They
Mm.
are not transactional. It's all about, it's just about synergies. That's it. You just keep trying to.
Ever feel at Adventure Park, did you ever feel that, anybody, right? We have hundreds of people coming in and out every day at Adventure Park. And in all fairness, I have lost the count. Um, at any point in time, did you ever feel, people were doing it for, their personal gain or objective, or, there was something behind, whatever they were doing?
No, I have never felt anything malicious from people at Adventure Park. One commonality between all is they're all good people. And I think that's props to you, because that's your baseline for letting anyone into EVP.
Correct.
A good human being,
Correct.
right? And that's it. That's all you care about, right? You go, you mingle with, so-called good people, whatever. You see, you experiment. You're like, this works out, this doesn't work out. It's
That
just an
was the
experiment.
whole idea behind creating, that space where you just walk in and then you attract a lot of positive energy and you start feeling great about yourself. You believe in yourself. You believe in things that you otherwise did not think was possible, yesterday. But today you are in the space and you're around these people. It makes you, believe that you can do things. Great. We have 4 minutes left. So
What's the last question gonna be?
no, the last question is on you. Is there anything,
On me.
yes, anything that you want to ask me? This is your, let's say, your chance to ask me like literally anything,
Anything.
and I'll answer you.
Hmm. Honestly, I've asked you way too many questions over the ages, to come up with one question and be like, hey, what do you think about this?
You did.
You know? But I don't know. I don't want to force a question out. I don't really have one on my mind right now. But maybe we should, carry it on again. I think this has been a pretty good session.
Hmm.
So,
Definitely was. In fact, every single time you give me, more ideas. And this is what I do, right? When I'm talking to people, anybody, right? It could be, people who are older than me, who are more accomplished than me. It could be people who are working with me, trying to figure out, things for themselves. I look for things that will give me my next agenda, motive, tweet, or whatever. Right now, you gave me one very cool idea. We were talking about, time. You were talking about now you have, a lot of time and you have, a lot of energy to work on things maybe you will not have later, which gave me, a new hypothesis. You will read in my next tweet, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was taking notes, right? So the hypothesis is going to be energy versus time, and I really believe. Let me just give you a teaser of it, since you inspired me for this idea. So I really believe, at any given point in time, the amount of energy you have, you divide it with respect to time that you can allot to that energy, right? So let's say you're 25 years old, right? And you have X amount of energy and you have 12 hours a day, right? So you are dividing your 12 hours, sorry, you're dividing your X energy among, 12 hours, right? That's by 12. So as you keep moving forward, your energy will come down because that's how aging works. And the amount of time that you have might increase or decrease depending on the decisions that you make, right? Let's say you got a great $1 billion exit and you have all the time in the world, and you still have a lot of energy, right? So you can have X by 24 hours a day, right? However, let's say you're not healthy enough, and
you're
your
screwed.
energy is screwed, right? You have, let's say, um only 50% of your energy left. You can't do anything even if you have 24 hours a day, right? So this is what I'm going to write about next. So thank you so much for that idea. And
Actually, another point, since we're done almost, your question about why I dropped out, to me, what I work on matters more than how hard I work on something.
and certification of it. Certification of it should never matter.
It doesn't matter, right? What I want to do is the only thing that helps me remain objective. And that's the reason I love it.
Awesome. I think that was a very nice end